Okay, so from Unit 3, we discussed these two parts, law library as well as
Yes.
different parts of a
Different
statute.
parts of statutes.
Yes. So different parts of statutes, or this is also similar to internal aids that are needed in case of interpretation of a statute. What are the internal things that we take help from while interpreting a statute or a provision? Right. Another thing that you get here is Constituent Assembly debates. So what is Constituent Assembly debates? Any idea?
I just understood debates.
Assembly was, yes, ma'am. So it was something like a group of people who basically drafted the constitution, headed by B.R. Ambedkar. At that time. So, ma'am, that was exactly what Constituent Assembly was. So, I think those same kind of debates still follow in order to see changes in the constitution or what should be amended or how can it be done to improve the law of the country.
Okay, correct. You are right. That is Constituent Assembly. That group of people, Constituent Assembly was formed for the drafting purpose, and thereafter the debate part came. Okay, we will see what this Constituent Assembly debate entire thing is, what is its significance. Okay, now when you talk about Constitution of India, it is considered as a supreme law of land in India, and in fact, supremacy of the Constitution is a basic feature of the Constitution, as in it's something that we cannot change. Okay, it's possible that we make changes in Constitution. Amendments are very much possible. Provision is also given, right? Which article? By any chance, do you remember the article?
Sorry, ma'am, can you repeat?
Amendment of Constitution. Do you remember which article talks about it?
Ma'am, 369 or something.
368. 368. Yes. So in Constitution itself, provision is mentioned for amendment, and it's not just about India. Even if you look at foreign constitutions, provision is given to make changes, to make amendments. That means law is not static, right? It will change from time to time. Whatever changes we need, law will keep on changing with the time. So in Constitution itself, provision is mentioned that you can make changes in the Constitution, but then there are certain things which are like basic structure of Constitution, as in whatever changes are required, you can do that. But you cannot change how the Constitution is. You cannot change the Constitution altogether and make it something else. Okay, that is the entire idea. And in those features, supremacy of Constitution is also one of the things. That means if Constitution was supreme in 1950, same it will remain in 2022, same it will remain in the coming years. We cannot make changes in that part. We cannot say that, okay, Constitution is not supreme, from tomorrow IPC is supreme, Indian Contract Act is supreme. That is not possible. This is nothing but Constitution of India is the supreme law of land in India. It talks about fundamental political code, what kind of government we would have, what will be our rights, what will be directive principles, what will be our duties, who is citizen at the time of commencement. All those things are mentioned in the Constitution itself. When we see the Constitution, it is one of the lengthiest written constitutions of the world. It's everything is written, right? If someone asks you whether this thing is given in Constitution or not, it's very simple. You simply open direct of Constitution and you get to know whether it is part of Constitution or not. Now, when we talk about Constitution of India, it is one of the lengthiest written constitution. Everything is written very clearly in a very much detailed way as well. Okay, now Constitution of India is one of the lengthiest written document, but why we need a constitution, right? When we got independence, right, power had to be transferred from British leadership to Indian leaders, right? It was that everything was done by Britishers. All of a sudden, if all the powers are given to Indian leaders, because they don't have a proper plan how things would be done, right? If everything is given to them, it would create a lot of confusion, right? To avoid that, they decided to set up cabinet mission plan whereby everything was decided how powers would be transferred from Britishers to Indian leadership. And under this cabinet mission plan itself, Constituent Assembly was formed. Okay, Constituent Assembly was formed, and within that assembly, there were 22 different committees. Okay, have you seen the Constitution Direct? Constitution of India Direct, have you seen? Yes, you have seen. Okay. So when we look at the Constitution of India, there are so many things which are included there, right? So many different topics are given there. So it's not possible to expect that, okay, one person would have idea on all the different topics, that person would know about it, right? That person would frame laws. It's not possible humanly. So what happened is 22 different committees were formed and they were given different areas, okay, that this committee would look after maybe national flag. This committee would look after maybe national anthem. This committee would look after this certain thing, okay, like that. Different areas were assigned to them. And all these committees had to submit a report. Whatever area was assigned to them, based on that, they had to submit report. While doing that, they even studied constitutions of other foreign countries. What is working in a certain country? Is it working well or not, right? All that study also they did. So there were 22 committees which were given different areas, and they had to submit reports on of all those areas. Now, on the basis of these reports which were submitted by the committees, there was one drafting committee. Like you said, B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman, right? He was chairman of drafting committee with 7 other members. So this drafting committee, what they did is they drafted the constitution based on whatever reports were received. They compiled everything and they prepared like a draft constitution, not like a final one, a draft constitution they prepared. Now, it was prepared by a limited number of people only. There were just 22 committees. They decided, they discussed, they prepared the draft. There is a possibility that apart from those members, from amongst the general public, there may be a person who can maybe provide a very good suggestion, right? So what they did is, they did not finalize it. They just prepared the draft constitution, and after that, they published it. They published it in January 1948, and they gave 8 months of time for the public, okay, that if you are having any suggestions, if you want to make any changes, right, any amendment, if you want to suggest, you can do that. Okay, what you can do, you can give suggestions or any possible amendments. 8 months time was given. And during that 8 months, they received a lot of suggestions from journalists, from lawyers, from teachers, from all the different areas of law, all the different areas, they received a lot of suggestions. Okay, so total they received 7,635 suggestions from people. Now, there is a possibility if you are reading the constitution, draft constitution, and you found that, okay, this is something which needs to be changed. Might be I also read the same thing and I also felt the same thing, right? It might happen that some things were repeated or stuff, right? So out of this 7,635 suggestions that they received, they debated and discussed on 2,473. That means that many amendments, the suggestions they debated on. And this is nothing but Constituent Assembly debate. Whether a certain thing should be added or not, what would be the advantages, what would be the disadvantages if a certain thing is added. Okay, so we have these Constituent Assembly debates published in the form of volumes, big volumes it would be published. And there in detail, you can see what all viewpoints, what all opinions were given by those members. Okay, so if you look at Constituent Assembly debate in your library, you can check, you will get these kind of volumes, Constituent Assembly debate. These will be there in the form of volumes. These kind of volumes you will see in your library. You can check them. Maybe you can turn the pages, you can read also what is written there. Okay, so this is nothing but the debate that happened, and it took place for 114 days. That means, see how big of, or like debate or discussion it was, That's why we have it published in different volumes. So Constituent Assembly debate, it happened for these many days and these are published. Now these debates are known as Constituent Assembly debates and they are published in different volumes. What is the significance of these debates? They help us understand the intention and motive of framers of the Constitution behind adding specific provision. If you want to know that, okay, fine, why is this certain provision added, or what was the thought in minds of the framers of Constitution, you get to know that what they thought this certain provision would serve and why was this point added, right? It helps us to understand that. Most of the law libraries make these volumes available for their readers because they are of much significance. They also help us in interpretation of specific provisions of Constitution because we get an idea on what was the purpose, why this certain provision was added. In that direction, we can try to understand the provision, right? It also helps in interpretation of certain provisions of Constitution. Even these are like such important topics that people do a complete research on Constituent Assembly debates itself. Okay, or might be if you are studying any topic on Constitution in detail, there also you might refer that, okay, what was the debate all about relating to this provision? Like that also many people do. So Constituent Assembly debates, they are very much significant, like volumes. That's why you have this like topic in your legal methods syllabus as well, right? So Constituent Assembly debates are of great value even today, even though those were like debates that took place before 1950. Even then they are of great importance. To understand Constitution law better, if we refer those volumes, we see what was the debate and discussion all about, that definitely helps us to understand the concept in a better way. Okay, so there was this Constituent Assembly debate. You would also get the same topic in your Constitution 1 also, 1 or 2, I think. You also would get this same topic because again, it's a very important provision. Okay, is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.